Bam. Wow, 366k. All right, that's not bad. That is definitely not bad. Hey guys, Coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video. We have a brand new champion I'm going to test out today for you guys. Going to showcase him in multiple areas and see whether his kit is worth it. It looks like a promising kit. It's one of the Orc faction champions that was added to the next patch that is coming to the game in Thursday. We are going to have some fun with the quick battles and everything. The new fusion is starting, and with that we'll have Jagg Bonso coming into the game. If you haven't seen a showcase him so far, then yeah, stick around, because this guy is actually really special in what he has. He applies buffs and debuffs when his turn starts and also when his turn ends. So multiple debuffs, increase accuracy and increase crit damage before he attacks, right, when he starts his own turn, and then when his turn ends, he applies decreased crit rate and decreased crit damage on the enemy with the highest crit damage. So he's going to be special for the arena because of these debuffs that he'll be applying, because these will not be landing on the supports. So there's no issue with him getting polymorphed. The supports will not have the highest crit damage in the team, so it's going to be the enemy rotos as an example that will receive these debuffs. But of course the rotos might have a CV with him, and that will cause a cleanse to happen. So there are some issues. Of course, cleansers, block debuffs buff will block this, but it looks like a promising promising toolkit that he has, at least on his passive. But let's have a look at his A1. Looks to be simple, but it does have a 25% chance to repeat this skill. So what it does is just a single target enemy skill plus a steal of 10% of the turn meter from the target. So accuracy on this champion already looks to be good on him. That's why the passive is there also. So with some accuracy extra that I've added through his gear, he looks to be okay for multiple areas of the game. So 25% chance of repeating this skill does not get boosted by any books. So that is just going to be RNG based. And then A2, single target again attacks one enemy 2 times before attacking, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target. Damage from the first hit increases by 10% for each debuff transferred. Then applies a debuff spread effect, taking 2 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. Damage from the second hit increases by 5% for each debuff transferred. So he'll be doing the transfer first and the spread first before he does his attacks. So it quite an interesting A2. It means that if the enemy has managed to land any debuffs on you, then he'll be transferring them, which is quite cool to have it as a kit. I wonder where we're gonna find this that useful, but let's carry on. A3, lacerating tempest attacks all enemies before attacking, removes all buffs from all enemies. Damage increased by 5% for each buff removed. Fills this champion's turn meter by 15% for each enemy killed by this skill. This can be useful in, I would say, dungeons, but not so much for arenas, unless you're fighting some sort of an arena battle where revives will come in handy. But for the enemies, so they're reviving, but you still have some turn meter boosted, so that's where it benefits you. And he also does more damage based on buffs removed. So buffs removed, you're not gonna really go heavy on him with accuracy, but accuracy on him works basically 50% better than any other champion. So let's have a look at him, how I've built him out. And depending on how useful you'll find him and how good his multipliers are, then you can switch around some things. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean here on the amulet, I've given him 50 accuracy, 57 to be precise, and he overall has 187 accuracy. So with that 50% accuracy boost he has through his own passive, he's at the 250 mark, a little bit over that actually. So very, very strong in terms of the accuracy that he has. And then I built him with 283 crit damage plus the one that he gets through his passive. Almost 7,000 attack and 207 speed, which can be quite fast. In terms of gearing, I went Savage and Cruel, fully booked him out to see the showcase, and Masteries, I went Helm Smasher for that effect of ignoring the enemy's defense, right? And then I went Support Tree plus Master Hexer, which this can be useful for applying debuffs for a longer duration, which he will be doing every time he takes a turn. So let's start with the showcase. Let's have a look at him in, I would say, campaign. Let's have a look at his damage in campaign. Although he is not that special in terms of AoEs, he only has that one AoE, right? I don't see how he would do a lot of damage here. So let's place him just here on stage 12-3, which might not be the best place to show him, but it's gonna give us an idea of how much damage he'll do and what kind of skills he'll be doing. So let's have a look at the AoE first. The A3, pretty cool. I saw like 120k there. That is very solid, and this will be boosted up by the number of buffs on the enemy. So A2 here, single target. Remember that this is a double hitting attack, hits for like 100k, pretty solid. There's the A1. The A1 also for 100k. Yeah, he's hitting quite hard. I think it's the extra crit damage that he gets really helps him ramp up the damage potential. He keeps on applying that decreased crit damage. That's what I love. So look at this. 1x speed. Let's see. 140k there. Well, this is not a proper test, is it? Let's go into dungeons. We'll go to Dragon's Lair. Let's hit, I would say 23 with his Void, but on 25, he's still Spirit versus Force, which is something that we could see ourselves trying out. So what I want to see is his damage right here with just an increase attack champion, defense down weaken, and just this guy, right? Nothing else, nothing more than that. Anything more than this, it's honestly unreasonable. I used to do those showcases, but I think it's more reasonable with just an increased attack and a defense down weaken to see the damage here on the 25th stage, right? Of normal. So we're not gonna look at hard. So yeah, let's have a look at the big AoE here and see. All right, that's pretty solid. Always think about the defense that the enemies have. So doing like half of their health can be very, very strong. The bad thing is, again, he doesn't have multiple AoEs. So that's where he's gonna fall off until we're gonna wait for this to be up again. I mean, he would need to get the kills to get extra turn meter. So unless he gets a lot of damage through the buff removal, I don't see him being that useful for at least dungeon stage clear. So yeah, he takes a long time to get his skills through. His damage looks great. So let's have a look at him in the arena, which is where I initially thought he would be special in the arena. So let's see if we can find a target from other CCs and see how they perform. So going in with this team, I have my increased attack available. I have boost of turn meter, and I will have a lockdown on the enemy. So I'm basically securing myself to be victorious. Cinder there did not put his defense right, so that's good for me because I might have the advantage here. Let's see his damage here, because look at the number of buffs on the enemies. We couldn't land what he can do on the highest crit damage enemy, so he couldn't do his passive because of the block debuffs buff, but now he'll be able to remove the buff. So that's what I want to see now, guys. I want to see some big numbers, and maybe this will be it, right? Wow, look at all those buffs removed, and then we had like 175k. All right, we'll try Taras and Marichka. This is like a huge defense. We're still gonna try it out. We hope for the best, and we'll see how this goes. It's an incredible team to beat, so we'll see how this goes by the end. This champion, Jagg or whatever he's called, I don't think he'll be able to go toe-to-toe against these high damage dealing champions. So here I'm not even going to try and do his A3. I'm going to try and do the A2 here. See how much damage that does. About 80k. Not that great, but all right, not the worst. I want to sleep that Necred. Oof. But with the Hex, he won't get a slept. So I don't even know what I'm gonna hit now, because that Taras is gonna hit me with a big AoE and we're gonna suffer. So what I will try to do, can we burst them down with the AoE that removes buffs? I wish I should also counted the buffs on myself, because look at that. Look at how many buffs I have. Okay, remove some buffs. We did the big damage there. There's the decreased crit rate on Taras, which actually helped us a little bit. He does his counter attack whenever we hit Marichka, so that was a bad move there. All right, we got the Sifi back. Let's try. Well, the A2 will be the one that does the debuff spread, so there's no point in that. Let's do the A1. Hits once, barely hit for like 40k. 20 of it was on the shield. Kind of got wrecked there. But we'll see how this goes. Let's buff up. There's a net crit again. Let's lock them out. The lockout is pretty much required at this point. Pretty much required. All right. Get hit again by Taras. My only shot would be killing off Taras. But this is going not so well. All right. Lots of buffs, so that's going to be boosting our damage by 5% for each buff removed. Let's see, can we remove them? Yeah, we removed lots of them, but the damage is just not there, man. Damage is just not there. I would totally expect something way better than that. Totally expect something way stronger. But it's just not there. You'll need a defense down, even with removing multiple buffs. Like versus a tanky team, you'll still need a defense down to do a burst. But, you know, other champions who are not non-void can do some very solid damage. I mean, Rotos does have ignore defense, but this guy, I think he would be better with ignore defense in his kit already. So I think we've seen a good chunk of what he can do already in the arenas, which is not much, honestly. Especially against these very tanky teams. Like, still think I would need something like a defense down to even go through. Of course, I'm fighting the best void champions with very, very strong defensive teams. I think this is scratches, also defense, so I can't see it pushing against these kind of teams. But on the weaker defenses, it might be able to do something. But again, with all those gear pieces, you can use something else as a damage dealer and still do some work. Right, so now for Hydra, I want to test out this guy because he does have a promising kit. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be amazing kit. He won't be able to use both the PvP masteries and the PvE masteries. For PvE, you'll run him with War Master instead of the Helm Smasher that he has, and sometimes maybe you'll even remove the Savage from him. But with the amount of damage that he has, we should be able to see some good numbers. I'm on hard right now because I didn't want to boost his accuracy even more, and I think with the amount of accuracy he has plus his passive, he should be okay here for doing something on the hard Hydra. So we'll see on our damage potential. We don't have like an increased attack to help him a little bit, so yeah, that's gonna be interesting on how much damage he'll be able to do. Let's see the AoEs. 50k there, 38k. Not that special. Not that special. So what is going to be special is maybe his A2. His A2 is the one that debuff spreads. So that can be something that you can use in multiple situations. So when you see some kind of debuffs that you want to see on all the heads or multiple heads, you try and attack that head instead. So I guess this one with the block buffs, that is interesting and useful, right? And let's see. All right, we debuff spread and we take the defense down and the block buffs and we put it on every target. And I think that can be useful in many situations, since he's gonna be both a damage dealer and like some sort of a utility, especially when there's buffs on enemies. But if you're running block buffs, a buff abusing type of damage dealer doesn't really prove his worth, right? Which is this guy, Jagg. So are they just doing these kind of champion releases just to dilute the non-void pool? It's already diluted, so they're just adding cool champions, cool looking champions at least. But I think his A1 could have been promising. There was a way to boost this up to a higher chance, but 25% chance to repeat the skill for him to do like a double hitting attack. Sometimes you'll get that, like the streaks of his A1 doing multiple hits, but that's gonna be once every how many, right? So this time he hit twice. Look at that, 95k plus 100k, very solid damage numbers. So once we get the heads down, we'll be able to see some better numbers, I'm guessing, which is what I'm waiting. Oh, we can actually maybe use him as a Hydra tank for the heads, for the head of mischief, in terms of the resistance. But then we're totally messing up with his kit. Because he's going to be a damage dealer with high resistance. He's not going to be a damage dealer with high resistance. So, because of the amount of buffs that he applies on himself. So now that the heads are down, we can actually spread those out and do something. Let's see the hit here. 320k. That was way more than I thought he would be doing. Way more. And remember, there's the head of suffering, which reduces the damage the other heads receive. I'm not sure if it also counts for the heads that are down. But let's see. Big AoE attack, 260k. Very, very strong. Get that head also down. That's even better. So then we'll be pretty much certain. Come on, get it down. There we go. Okay. So how much do we hit with Acrisia? We hit it for 150k, which is the cap of 10% of the boss's health. And here, if I go and hit, well, I want to hit this head. Let's see. 250k and then another 250k, which is double almost of what Acrisia did. Then we debuff spread the defense down. So that's what I wanted on the other heads. That head took a turn, so we kind of lost the debuffs. Oh, the heads are taking turns. No. All right. Might be able to get a turn with this boy. Let's see. The A2 hits for 200k here on the left. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Can we get a turn in? Let's see the head. Boom, boom. 200k. 200k. All right. Let's see you, Jagg, with the A1 here. A1. No defense down. No, there's a defense down. Yeah, there's a defense down. Bam. Wow. 366k. All right, that's not bad. That is definitely not bad. 366k for the Hydras. Might be the Helm Smasher proccing, but at this point it's better than War Master, right? Isn't it better for this guy? Because he doesn't cap out on enemy max HP, so it might actually be better for him to be running Helm Smasher rather than War Master. War Master will give you more consistent damage if you have lower gear. So here, let's see. A1, 338k. Very solid. Right, let's end this. No point running this longer than it should, but what is the damage? 2.6 versus 2.1 on Husk. Legendary versus Epic. You see the difference, guys. It's kind of not worth it that much if you think about it. Acrisia is, of course, on a league of her own. So yeah, this was Jagg. What do you guys think overall? Aesthetic wise, he looks great. He looks interesting with the soul on his head, but looks like a fun champion. Looks like a fun champion. His kit overall looks kind of promising when you see it at the first time, but the number of books that he requires is not that high. It's what, 6? And then another 4 here, 10 books compared to other legendaries, which require way more. It's a little bit higher. In terms of being a damage dealer, he's a spirit damage dealer, which we don't have that many. And I still think he is a little bit underwhelming if you consider the kind of conditional things that you've got to meet. Let's say removing buffs for his AoE to do any kind of damage, which is not that great, which you saw in the arena showcase. So anyway, guys, this was the video. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you in the next one. See ya.